I'm SP from the GonnaGeek.com show, a weekly geek news podcast that is part of the GonnaGeek.com network. Just like the show you're checking out now, shows on the network are individually owned and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other amazing geek shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Quoting Dark Matter showrunner Joseph Mallozzi from his josephmallozzi.com blog, September 4th, 2017. Quote, I've heard that executives at a few of the other broadcast options we've been reaching out to have taken note of the huge fan response. Unquote. Quote, the tweets, the comments, even the petitions, which frankly won't convince Syfy to change their minds, but still serve a great purpose, have caught the attention of the decision makers. End quote. Hey guys, Josh here from onthebubblepodcast.com. Thank you once again for listening. I'm squeezing this episode in between the next door neighbour screaming into his computer about something, so it will be short today. So this is part 2 of a 3-part series that we're doing about the cancellation and the fan campaign for Syfy show Dark Matter. Thank you to those that checked out part 1, where we kind of, I guess, covered the reasons why the show was on the bubble and the fact that, well, actually it wasn't really on the bubble by traditional metrics, and the fact that it got cancelled, and Joe Mallozzi, who is the showrunner, his initial reaction and the initial reaction from the cast and crew. And that leads us into today, where we're talking about the fan reaction, which fired up very, very quickly after the cancellation of Dark Matter. So I won't do too much housekeeping today. You can go to onthebubblepodcast.com to share the show, to press play on another episode. I think there's 40-ish episodes there from the last couple of years. And if you wanted to talk about the show, you could go to gonnageek.com/discord, josh@onthebubblepodcast.com to email the show. And if you find enough value in today's episode to support the show financially and keep this rusty spaceship flying, you can go to patreon.com/Joshua C. Liston and pledge there whatever you can afford. Okay, let's do this thing.
Co-creator of the graphic novel and TV series Dark Matter, until recently seen on this Syfy cable channel. The show's surprise cancellation after 3 seasons caused a social media uproar and almost helped it find a 4th. Almost.
So that was the voice of Mr. Media, speaking with showrunner Joseph Mallozzi himself on Mr. Media's YouTube channel, Mr. Media Interviews with Bob Andelman. So that interview was uploaded on the 28th of September 2017, but a lot happened between the blog posts that went up early in September on Joseph Mallozzi's blog and the interview that Mr. Media did with Joseph Mallozzi later in that month. So I don't want to go too list posty on you guys today, but I'm going to go list posty. So this is a rundown of the important features of the fan campaign, which I guess were encapsulated under the hashtag Team Raza. So there was a weekly Friday night tweet storm using the hashtag Team Raza. There were coordinated rewatch parties around the globe where fans would get together at the same time in their local time zone and watch the same episode at the same time, interact online to get buzz around the show happening, and I guess to share that experience again in a non-broadcast fashion where they're all simulcasting, I guess, and they're sharing their passions for the show all at the same time. There was a Twitter account at DARKMATTERFTL which created a nightly hashtag including the fan favourites, which I think is hilarious, hashtag It's Bubba Time, and hashtag Boobs and Blasters. The Twitter account essentially would post that night's hashtag 45-ish minutes before the tweets were meant to go out, and the pushing and the tagging of a Netflix, for example, on a daily basis before that was due to happen. So I've included an example of hashtag It's Bubba Time and hashtag Boobs and Blasters in the show notes for today's episode, so you can kind of see that there was a funny element to the tweets, which mirrored the fun elements of the show itself, which I think personally was super cool. So at Dark Matter FTL had support from Anthony Lemke, who is one of the stars of the show. It also had support from the series lead, Melissa O'Neill. On her Twitter account, she said, quote, Feeling a void after the Dark Matter news? Follow at DarkMatter FTL for all your rallying needs. The perfect place to join hashtag Team Raza. Unquote. So the biggest element of the fan campaign, other than Joseph Mallozzi, who was a co-creator of the show itself, posting on his own blog, was actually an online petition from Elise Cochran called We Want Dark Matter Season 4. From my research, the petition was online under 48 hours after the cancellation. It actually ended up reaching 77,549 supporters before closing. It's no Lucifer and it's no Brooklyn Nine-Nine by any means, but those numbers for the type of show, for the network, for the genre, they're huge numbers to have on a petition. So congratulations has to go to Elise for doing such a good job with that particular petition, getting so much attention for it, but also for sharing her heart in that petition, which doesn't always happen, for why the show meant so much to her. So I'm going to quote Elise here. Quote, "As of Season 3, the main cast had an equal number of male and female characters, half of whom are people of colour. Furthermore, the lead of the show is a bisexual Asian woman. Very few shows have this level of diversity, and many fans have found important representation that they may struggle to find elsewhere." End quote.
For however hard this was on me, it was triply or quadruply so on Joe. This was a project that I think meant more to him than almost any other project he's been involved in. So it was hard. It was hard. And then I think in his mind, there's probably a small hope that he'll be able to finish this off with a miniseries somewhere. It's above my pay grade. It's not something that I can really affect a change on. So I try to say, all right, it's over and move on until that phone call comes.
So I thought I'd end today with a final piece of audio from Mr. Media and his interview with Mallozzi. This clip gives us some insight into how the Dark Matter campaign came out of the blocks so strong. Why was it that the campaign got so much attention and seemed so organised right from the get-go? And you'll hear in this audio that Mallozzi wasn't the driving force of the campaign itself. He was kind of the big voice that added fuel to the fire. So that's about it for today, guys. So thank you once again for listening to On the Bubble podcast. Don't forget, in part 3 of this series, we're going to talk to fans of the show. What did Dark Matter mean to them? How did they feel about the cancellation? How do they feel about the show? The cast and crew now that it's 2021, not 2017? All those things we're going to talk about. So that'll be a bit different for On the Bubble podcast, which I think I mentioned a couple of episodes ago. But I'm really excited to get the fan voices onto the show itself. Just 2 quick things before we finish up today. In my research, when I went to find out a little more about Bob Andelman, the man behind Mr. Media, and the Mr. Media YouTube channel, I discovered that sadly, Bob actually passed away in February of 2020. So my thoughts go out to Bob's family and to everyone who knew Bob. So it feels a little strange to be including Bob's voice now that he has left us, but he inspires people, including myself, that have stumbled upon his work to create things that may be seen as geeky or nerdy or not cool or not mainstream, and be proud of that. So thank you, Bob, and thank you to the Mr. Media YouTube channel for, I guess, leaving that great content online for all of us to enjoy. Lastly, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone at the Gonna Geek Network once again for welcoming the show back. We've been uncancelled. And to you guys, the listener, you can help us avoid a second cancellation by going to patreon.com/Joshua C. Liston, or check out gonnageek.com. Look under the TV shows podcast tab and you'll find On the Bubble. Okay, thank you. Rest in peace, Bob. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Great to have you. I wish it was better news, but Joe, I mean, say it ain't so. Tell us there's some hope here.
Yeah, sadly, I would say we've exhausted all avenues to, in attempting to secure a 4th season and, miniseries. I'm going to say for now, because who knows? Someone this morning sent me an article that was published back, I think, in 2005 about the cancellation of Farscape, and the parallels are eerie. Fans follow me from Stargate to Dark Matter, and these half dozen fans, I dub them the Dark Matter Council, were made up of like longtime blog readers, but also new fans to Dark Matter. And they emailed me and they're like, hey, we want to do something. And to be honest with you, I mean, I've always been active online, but I don't know anything about launching campaigns. And they basically reached out to, for instance, the campaign that got Longmire 2, maybe 3 seasons at Netflix. And they talked to those people, and those people were very helpful and said, this is what we do. This is what we did. And they used Twitter as a tool to sort of, get the word out. I mean, everyone's obsessed with trending now. And it's not just people, but, broadcasters as well. I know they watch, they love the social media aspect.